All right. We asked you guys to submit some stuff that you wanted us to take a deep dive into, and this one really stood out to me
Hmm?
because it really kind of gets at the heart of what we talk about on the show, which is we're always looking for those ways to make buildings work better and smarter. And this one really jumped out at me. So we're going to take a deep dive today into a January-February 2025 article from HVAC.
Okay.
That's called The Science of Clean, a multi-climate evaluation.
Hmm.
And the thing that I thought was so interesting about this was you hear so much about, um, you know, energy efficiency and things like that, especially when it comes to buildings. But
Yeah.
one of the things that I thought was interesting here was the impact that routine HVAC cleaning can have on energy savings,
Right.
even in buildings that aren't that old. Like we're talking under 20 years old,
Yeah.
pretty significant savings.
Mhm.
So I was kind of blown away by this. I'm excited to hear what you took away from this article as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Even moderately aged buildings can see huge savings just by, keeping those systems clean.
Right.
And what was really eye-opening to me was the range of energy savings we're talking about. Like in some cases, it was up to like 60%
Yeah, that's crazy. 60%.
just from cleaning. So,
Wow. I mean,
yeah,
that's wild.
yeah,
Like, okay, so I got to ask, like, if a system is, relatively new, like under 20 years old,
right.
it should already be designed to be efficient, right?
Well, yeah, ideally, but,
How does
they
clean,
don't.
how does cleaning make that big of a difference?
Yeah, dust and debris, they build up over time, even in those newer systems, especially on those fan blades and coils and all that stuff.
Right.
And so that buildup, what it does is it restricts airflow. And when airflow is restricted, that system's got to work harder
Oh, I see.
to do its job, which means it's consuming more energy.
So it's like having
Exact.
the emergency brake.
It's like having the parking brake on in your car and you're trying to drive,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're going to burn more gas. You're going to wear out the engine faster.
Right. Exactly.
Same principle.
It's just working harder than it needs to.
And it's not good for the longevity of the system either.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So you're not just saving energy, you're actually prolonging the life of the system.
Exactly. You're preventing premature wear and tear on all those expensive components,
Yeah.
Motors, fans, compressors,
Makes sense.
all that stuff.
And okay, so the article also mentions improved airflow.
Right.
And I know you're big on, building operations and how things actually work.
Yeah.
Why is that so important, like the airflow?
So think about it this way. When you clean the system, you're increasing the volume of conditioned air that's being delivered to the building,
Okay.
right? And we call that supply airflow.
Washa.
And that can increase by, anywhere from 10 to 46% just by cleaning. So you're getting a lot more bang for your buck, essentially. And that impacts a couple things. First, it affects occupant comfort.
Sure.
Better airflow means better temperature control, fewer stuffy areas.
Have you ever been in like an office building where it's like sweltering in one room and freezing in the next?
Yeah.
That's probably an airflow problem.
Yeah, that's definitely a sign of poor airflow.
Gotcha.
The other thing is increased airflow actually helps to dilute and remove pollutants and allergens
Okay.
from the air, which is huge for indoor air quality.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that because I know you talk about IAQ all the time.
I do. It's a passion of mine.
Yeah. So what kind of pollutants are we talking about here specifically?
So, the usual suspects, dust mites, pollen mold spores, but also things like volatile organic compounds, VOCs, those are emitted from various materials and products.
Yeah.
And those can cause a whole host of problems, trigger allergies, respiratory issues, headaches, fatigue, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be breathing that stuff in all day.
No, definitely not.
So it's like the HVAC system is almost acting like a filter in a way.
Exactly. It's filtering out those harmful contaminants and creating a much healthier environment for occupants.
And that's got to be huge,
Yeah.
especially these days.
Yeah.
People are so much more aware of indoor air quality than they used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's become a major consideration for building owners and tenants alike.
Right.
And, it can even affect things like productivity and absenteeism.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if people are feeling sick or uncomfortable because of poor air quality, they're not going to be at their best.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The article also mentioned something about the connection between HVAC cleaning and the longevity of the system itself.
Yeah, that's a key point.
Huh.
A clean system runs more smoothly, It experiences less stress, and therefore it's going to last longer.
Okay.
So by reducing the strain on those motors and components, you're extending the lifespan of the equipment.
So it's like preventative maintenance.
Exactly.
Let's spend a little bit up front.
A stitch in time saves 9.
Yeah. And you save a lot in the long run.
Exactly, and potentially avoid those costly emergency repairs down the road.
Right.
This can really throw a wrench in your budget.
And not to mention, you have to shut down part of the building or maybe the whole building while they're doing the repair.
Yeah, downtime is a killer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we wrap up, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on. And this is something that we talk about a lot on the show, but I think it's really important to emphasize here the environmental impact.
Right.
A more efficient HVAC system means less energy consumption,
Absolutely.
which means a smaller carbon footprint.
It all ties together.
And that's something that, anyone who's concerned about sustainability
Mm-hmm.
really needs to be thinking about.
Yeah, it's a win-win for everyone, really.
Yeah.
You save money, you improve the health and well-being of the occupants, and you're doing your part for the planet.
It's all coming together. Okay, so what's the big takeaway here for you? I mean, it seems like routine HVAC cleaning isn't just like a nice to have.
Right.
It's really a must-do for any building owner or operator.
It's essential. I mean, it's a relatively simple and cost-effective measure
Yeah.
that yields significant benefits for everyone involved.
So I'm curious, now that we've done this deep dive, does it make you think about your own building's HVAC maintenance practices?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely given me some food for thought.
What surprised you most from this article?
Honestly, the magnitude of the energy savings, I mean, 60%, that's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
And it just highlights how much we can achieve with these simple preventative measures.
I know, and it makes you think, right? Like, imagine if every building owner just took this seriously.
Right.
Like, what kind of impact would that have on our energy consumption?
The collective impact would be enormous.
Yeah, it could be a game changer for the environment. So, okay, we're going to leave it there for today. If you're listening and you have some sources that you'd like us to take a deep dive into, send them our way.
Yeah, we're always looking for new material.
And we'll be back soon with another deep dive.
Until next time.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye.